Hello, good evening. Hi Anirudh, good evening. What's up, guys? Good evening, Prasanna. Thank you so much, Anirudh. So I believe all of you are, kind of getting prepared and warming up for asking all the tricky questions to me. Good evening, Shruti. Yeah, I had dinner. So I had dinner at 6:30 actually. Not that I usually have at 6:30, but myself being a Jain, our festival is going on, and usually 10 days of Ganesh Chaturthi we have dinner before sunset. So that being the case, we had it. Good evening, everyone. And a tricky question: why sessions only at 8 p.m.? Probably, I think I'm not sure about lucky time. Maybe the admin team can answer that. But yes, 8 o'clock is kind of a convenient time for everyone, for faculties also and for students also. Usually, for faculties and for the working team of Indigo, they are done for the day's work, and it's usually kind of relatively low pressure time. So yes. So, Harish has a question, sir. Costing will help in job, especially which sector in job to choose for those who like costing. See, costing, I would say it is not sector related. It is there in every walk of life, and it is not sector specific. The moment you're going to, enter into any corporate, especially in the finance function, costing is going to be your day to day management objective. And very sadly, but with a pinch of salt, I'm having to say this, that there was a paper in your CA final, strategic cost management and performance evaluation, which was the logical extension of costing. So in IPCC we had costing, and advanced level concepts of the subject was there in that particular paper. So they have shifted it to the virtual learning mode or the online mode, self study mode. But that paper really throws light on several decision making concepts, as simple as whether you want to start a new business or not. How are you going to decide that? So the principles of costing are going to help you in that. By the way, I forgot to check. I hope my voice is very clear, voice and audio both. Just give a thumbs up or yes if that is clear. Now, whether you feel hungry at night or not, so tricky question. I mean, sometimes you'll have to deal with that hunger and resist some pleasures in life. But it's all in your mind. So if your body is tuned to it, you don't feel like anything. Students' feedback to keep at 8 p.m. See, I was right. So probably that's a convenient time, not a lucky time. Which native place you are from? So see, basically, I was born and brought up in Hyderabad, but my parents are typically from Rajasthan. Coincidentally, father is also a chartered accountant. He did his schooling and curriculum in Bombay, and then eventually settled in Hyderabad. Anirudh, sir, how did you find yourself to become a CA? Want to know your flashback. So this is a very very interesting question. In fact, I would say it is by chance that I became a CA, and if saying by chance, if it is not appropriate, then I would attribute it to lack of options at that point in time. So basically, my mom, like a typical Indian household, wanted me to become an IITian, and she had huge hopes on me that I will be doing, I'll be becoming an IITian, and eventually I'll do IIM, etc. For that reason, she kind of put in a lot of efforts. With all due respect, in me, I was always that smart kid in schooling, and so she had that aspiration. She kind of put me to good coaching classes right from class 8, wherein I was supposed to do the preparation for IIT. Class 8 was okay. By the time, mid of ninth class, I was fed up. I was that, child who always wanted to play outdoor. Though I was, kind of good at academics, but I really didn't like academics. And studying was not my cup of tea. I really didn't enjoy it at back then. So by the time, mid year ninth, I said, let's forget it. कुछ भी करना है लाइफ में, I'll do anything, but I will not do IIT. And the frustration was so much because of that studies that I decided, come what may, physics and chemistry, I'm definitely not going to do. So now that physics, chemistry, science, etc. was out of the window, I said, kuch to karna hai. In fact, the entire 10th I took very light. While up to ninth, I was always that topper. I used to get 95, 96%, etc. 10th, I just enjoyed life. I scored mere 18% in 10th, whereas it's always the other way with students. I went to a chill commerce college, enjoyed my 11th, enjoyed my 12th, and then, it so happened that my father told me, okay, anyway, since you're, doing commerce, there was no pressure at that point of time. He said, why don't you just, appear for your CPT? So I said, okay, no problem. And I appeared for the CPT, and it so happened that I got a rank. And then everything was history from there. So that is how I ended up becoming a CA. So was it my dream to become a CA at that point in time? I don't think so. So it was more like I started something, I want to complete it, and I just completed it. Come to Tamil Nadu, sir. We will welcome you in advance. Surely, killer. What a nice name. Surely, I mean, I'll plan sometime. The only problem which I'm afraid of is the language. I'm not sure whether people will appreciate me talking in Hindi or English there. I'll have to find my way unless you're going to come and pick me up at the airport or the station. Allu Arjun or Junior NTR, sir? I would say Allu Arjun. So I, watch a lot of films. Initially, I used to watch all the films in Hindi dubbed, but now I have picked up quite good amount of Telugu, and I enjoy watching, movies in Telugu. And probably with the amount of binge watching that I'm doing, someday I'm sure won't even need subtitles to understand Telugu. Sir, what makes your day productive? So usually, what I've noticed is whenever I start my day early, I tend to have a lot of time on hand. And the one thing which really makes me feel productive is getting up early and starting my day early. The days, where I've got up late or started late, that entire day is kind of very frustrating for me. So yeah, what makes my day productive is starting early. Probably, by half day, you will feel like you've done so much and you have put in so much effort that most of the tasks are accomplished and you have the rest of the day for yourself. But if you start late, it takes away a lot of energy. Shanu, best app to trade in stock market. So I cannot say which is the best app. I can say, which one I use. I actually just have a 3-in-1 account with Yes Bank, and I have this account for quite some time. I am totally, not a big fan of the recent discount brokers like Zerodha, etc. I still prefer to pick up the phone and ask my dealer to place an order, and that is what I still do. And I resist myself from placing orders directly. This has helped me in kind of avoiding big losses and kind of taking wrong or spontaneous decisions multiple times, because as a dealer, the dealer who is sitting on the other side, he has always kind of mellowed down my trade and helped me save a lot of money. And anyways, as a side note, I would say, at this stage in your life when you're preparing for your CA, forget about stocks. You have your entire life to do it. Probably just, if you want to invest your stipends, etc., you can do it. But if it is possible, don't spend time on stock market. Just give 2 years to your studies, and then you have the entire life for yourself. Do whatever you can. Ritika Raju, sir, can you please tell us your routine? So, Ritika, my routine usually, I get up like around 7:30 in the morning. The mornings are taken away usually by my 1 year old daughter. So I love playing with her, spending time with her, because that is the only part of the day where I get to spend time with her. By the time I go back home in the night, she's already tired and kind of sleeping. So 7:30 to 9:30, I kind of spend good amount of time with her, and by 10:15 I am at office. So I am a practicing chartered accountant and I run a firm. So my most of the time during the day goes in managing office, and since I'm at the helm of the affairs in this firm, managing the entire firm, usually I don't have a definitive end to my day. So even now 8 o'clock, I'm actually taking this session from office. So depending upon how the work is on hand, and usually what I feel, once a person is in practice, so you are always at work. You cannot say that your work has ended. So maybe you're out of your office, you're going for a social gathering, but you're still thinking business there, because you are kind of building connects and acquiring clients there. So one thing which I would which I intend to, I keep trying, and on and off it is there as a part of my routine, is exercise. So I kind of try to fit in that half an hour, 45 minutes every day, wherein I maybe go for a walk or gym. But having said that, I'm not doing that for the last couple of months because of the work pressure at office. But once I think September is over, I'll start that again. Sir, what are your thoughts on the new CA course which is going to arrive? See, I think it is a very positive step in many ways. One which I especially like is reducing the articleship period, and giving the option to the ones who want to practice, and making it mandatory that such guy has to do it in a practicing firm where a CA has at least 5 years of experience, etc. FCA basically. So it kind of gives a clarity, a clear clarity of thought to the students also. And if someone is very clear that they want to go into the industry after kind of clearing CA, so they don't waste much time while doing this. And as far as the curriculum is concerned, I would say the institute is doing a fair enough job in keeping the content updated. And yeah, I mean, change has to be accepted, and these are good changes. It will take time, but yes. See, I still remember in 2007 when this entire scheme was introduced. So CPT had come for the first time in 2007, February, and May 2007 was when I gave my CPT. The structure that time was, we gave our CPT. We had just cleared our 12th, so I gave my 12th in March 2007, and May 2007 I gave CPT. The results came somewhere in June last week or something. And the next thing that I know is from the 1st of July I'm into a CF. I'm doing my articleship. So here is a student who has just come out of 12th, has no real life experience, has done nothing in life till now other than, enjoying with friends till 12th. And all of a sudden, you're expecting this person to attend one of the most professional courses that's available in India. Then we did our articleship after, during our articleship, we gave inter. So, one, you have to deal with office pressure, you have to attend your classes, and still you have to prepare. And the leave given was only 1.5 month for the entire thing. So, yeah, I mean, it has been evolving and nothing to complain about. So, what are your thoughts on the new CA course? Okay, Srinivas Prasad. Hi, sir. Some people talk or tease badly about CA profession by people like RJ Abhinav these days. Any response to them? See, there are certain things which you just need to ignore, and the response that we should be giving to them should be by our actions and not by our words. So, as CAs, we are contributing to the development of the country, and we are, kind of achieving new heights. The entire economy, we are headed for a $5 trillion, and this is something which the government has been, really pushing forward. And just today, India has become the fifth biggest economy, surpassing UK. So probably at one time they were rolling us, and today we are a bigger economy than them. So as professionals, we are going to play a very very important role, and you just ignore these comments. In fact, I don't even know what RJ Abhinav has quoted. So I'm not a social media guy or a Twitter guy who keeps following. But nevertheless, put your head down and focus on the work ahead and the task in hand. We will achieve great heights. There's absolutely nothing to think about. Here, everyone will come welcome you in spite of your language, sir. If you come, I'll come you pick and show some historical places. Will entertain you. Have some done. I will catch up with you when I plan for visiting Tamil Nadu. And by the way, my name is Manoj. Nice to speak to you. Same here, Manoj. Probably you can ping me and we can stay in touch. If I come to Tamil Nadu, I will keep you posted. Sir, have you watched any of the Telugu movies or any other language? So I basically watch only three languages: Telugu, Hindi, and English. So I'm not a big fan of watching movies in theater. So I don't even remember when is the last time I booked a movie ticket. So the only movies that I watched in theater is when I have been pulled by my wife or my family members or some friends. So when I'm really compelled to go to a theater, I go. But otherwise, OTT I kind of binge watch. The recent movie which I saw, I think it was. Don't recollect. Yeah, I one thing about me, I'm very very bad with name of movies, lyrics. Probably when I sing a song, I replace the wordings. I use my own wordings. I just retain the tune. But then I think I watched one movie which was Prithviraj Chauhan, if I'm not wrong. That was the last movie which I saw on OTT. Uh, Sir, your favorite slang in Telugu? Hmm, I really don't use much of slang, but then I think that should be censored. It starts something with knee and then pee, whatever. You can, you know, fill in the blanks. Evil exist. Sir, your expensive purchase still now. So, I have a question to that. So, expensive in terms of, what I felt was expensive and I overpaid, or is it in pure absolute terms? If it was, most expensive purchase, or sheer waste of money, I would say I've paid gym subscriptions multiple times and not utilized that money. Or probably, I bought couple of really expensive watches, but after a certain point of time I realized wearing watch is not that comfortable. If you really have to work on your laptop, it keeps coming in between, so I stopped wearing those watches. So though money invested not being utilized unless I'm going out somewhere. And expensive purchase till now, probably some stocks. Other than that, I don't kind of spend much money. Can I complete and pass CA inter second group in 2 months? Yes, definitely. I mean, for a single group, 2 months is more than enough time, even if you're starting your just starting your preparation. Sir, I took admission in CA direct entry. Tell me about articleship. When will it be started, or what is the duration? So I think when you're in direct entry, you can start your articleship immediately, and I think it's 3 years and 2.5 years under the old scheme. I'm not very sure on that. And new scheme, I'm definitely I need to check what is the duration. But I believe that once you're in direct entry, you can do a direct you can directly start your articleship. Ah, I just missed reading a message. It got retracted by Evil Exist. Must have been an interesting message. Sir, what is the secret of your success? See, I think, not only secret of my success, secret of anyone's success would be staying committed and staying dedicated. So it's like, it's the magic of compounding. So if you're even 0.1% better, if you're even 0.1% better than yesterday, and if you compound that, you will be like 3 or 4 times better than what you were, 1 year back. So small baby steps, continuously, reading. So I love reading, and I kind of, love staying updated, and I try to read as diverse topics as possible. And I have a very keen interest in stock market. So I read a lot about what companies are doing, what are the challenges that companies are facing, which are the new companies coming up. So I always have a keen eye for sectors that will be performing good in the coming market. So I think yes, staying committed, staying dedicated, maintaining the consistency, and keeping yourself updated. These would be the secret of success. Uh, See the next question, sir. How do CS keep up with amendments, replacement of acts, rules? So see, generally what happens is it is not every day that there will be a C change, a complete change, or a complete recast of the rules or provisions. So if you look at GST, it was a one-time change. So the entire structure got changed. So obviously one will have to put in a lot of effort when structural changes like that happen. But once that change has come in, then the amendments, the rules, etc. These are gradual incremental changes. And usually today there are so many WhatsApp groups, etc., where you kind of continuously keep getting updates. And there are so many professionals who are very kind enough and generous enough to share some articles, keep others posted in the groups. So those professional groups really help me in keeping myself updated. And apart from that, if you're talking specifically about taxation, so taxman subscription really helps me. So you keep getting new case laws every day. You keep getting mails about important changes that have happened, and so on and so forth. And I think, CA as a profession, where we are heading is we are heading towards super specialization. So just like doctors, if you want something to be done with your tooth, go to a dentist. If it's your heart, go to a cardiologist. And similar is our profession. So it's becoming very challenging, very complex, and professionals with expertise in certain areas of practice are going to emerge. They are already there, and it is going to become much more clearer and deeper, this distinction, as we go forward. So someone who is really doing a GST practice only, let's say, so for him, it will be easier to adapt what are the changes in the GST law rather than a person who is trying to do the entire thing. So specialization is definitely something that one has to keep in mind going forward. Sir, tell us about your firm. What is the most critical issue you had in your practice experience? How you faced such situation? So, see, my father also is a chartered accountant, and typically he had started practicing in 1985. So, since then, he has been in practice. I qualified in the year 2013. All right. So, for most of you in this group, maybe you don't know my background. CA CPT 2007 में All India ranker. CA Inter 2009 में All India ranker. I was supposed to give my exam in 2011 May final, but got distracted. Started working on few clients. Did not give enough weightage or time to studies, and eventually I kind of half-heartedly appeared for next three attempts. So it was only November 2012 that I gave my Group 2 final, and May 2013 that I cleared my Group 1 and became a CA. So in between these 2 years, 11 when I was when I completed my articleship and when I was supposed to give my final, to 2013. So these 2 years I did a lot of work. I started taking up clients, small clients independently. I was helping my father with few of his clients, and then there was this particular audit which I was doing. So with 3 years of articleship experience, having studied so much, having put in so much of effort, I was of the thought process that once we are doing audit, we should do it thoroughly. So I went to this client. I kind of put in all the efforts, identified certain good audit points, made a list of all these audit points, and then these points were shared with the client, that look, these are the shortcomings and these are the gaps in your financials, and we need to address them. So the client told me, the accountant of the client basically told me, acha acha, you are new, you have just come, you don't know how it works, and these are small adjustments which just keep going. So that really stuck me and it hit me hard. So that day I just came home and I was sitting on the dinner table with my dad. I told him, look, either from tomorrow you have that client with you, or you have me in the office. So that was the day when my dad told me, look, it is practice. There are things at times which needs to be understood, and at times which needs to be accommodated. So depending on how serious the matter is or how difficult the matter is, if you want to be in practice, you have to kind of start dealing with these things. So that day I said, okay, fine, this is probably the exact thing which I don't want to do in my career and life. And that day I started thinking, what is it that I really want to do? And I had a fundamental question which I asked myself, why would any person go to a doctor, or why would any person go to a lawyer? So a person would go to a doctor or to a lawyer only if they were not feeling well, if they have some problem, or if they are stuck somewhere, that is when they go to a lawyer. All right. If a person is healthy, he would never go to a doctor. Likewise, if a person is not in any kind of legal trouble, he will never approach a lawyer. So my question to myself was, why would anyone come to a CA? The only thing that I could think of back then was because there is this stat audit, there is this tax audit, there is this audit requirement, statutory requirement forced upon by the government on the client, and that is why clients come to CA. Then I said, okay, if the force of the government is no longer there, if tomorrow the government says, okay, no audit, forget about it, would people still come to CS? So the answer to that question was no, unless CAs are doing any value addition. So from that day onwards, we started thinking of areas where we can kind of do value add to the clients, and we completely built a practice which is not audit based or attestation based. So I strongly believe that CA, two letters, chartered accountant. So a person, needs to be an accountant first, and a good accountant. Only then, you will add true value to the two terms, to the two letters. So back then we started building, a practice focusing purely on virtual CFO services, and with God's grace, we are doing really well in that area. And luckily, with GST coming in, the things became a little, complex in terms of compliance, and compliance are just increasing by the day. So we are focusing a lot on virtual CFO services where we are kind of handling end to end, including debt syndication, investment advisory, etc. So yeah, I mean that is what we do at our firm, and that was the difficult situation, which in fact helped me in deciding where we want to take this firm forward. CA versus CS, which is the best course? I have not done CS, so I really cannot comment upon. See, CA, CS, etc. These are all just terms given to you. End of the day, whether it is a BCom or a MCom or a MBA or a CA or a CS or a CWA, whatever may be the curriculum or the course that you choose, just stay true to it, and put in efforts. There are people who are minting money as a CA professional, there are people who are minting money as a CS professional. So there's really nothing to choose between the two. Both are good independent courses. Your favorite influencer? So I kind of like reading books on investments, and I really, am influenced to a great extent by the thought process of our late Rakesh Jhunjhunwala and Warren Buffett. So their investment philosophy is really influence, the way I allocate my money, and the way I take financial decisions. So yeah, those are the two silent influences. Apart from that, I really, don't participate much on social media. I'm kind of away from it, so I don't tend to get influenced much from that. It is only books that influence me. Your funny moment during articleship? So this was a strange incident uh, where I was doing my articleship. There were actually three partners, and one day it so happened we were sitting outside. So three partners, basically two were senior partners, one was junior partner. So the senior partner's son had come to office that day. He must have been in eighth class or ninth class, and we started really pulling pranks on him. And we this guy, what he was doing was he actually bought his father's phone, our senior partner's phone, outside to the cubicles where we were sitting, and he was playing games on that phone. So what we did, we snatched away the phone from him, and from that phone we started giving missed calls to the junior partner. So every 10 minutes we were giving a call, and that junior partner was getting up from his chair and going to the senior's cabin. And eventually, when he found out that we were the ones who were troubling him, we got our good own share of coating. But that was a good funny moment in articleship. That was one, and the other was back then we used to play a lot of poker on Facebook. So Texas Hold'em poker, Zynga, basically. So we used to sit in front of our computer screens. Back then, we didn't have laptops; it were all desktops. So three, four of us doing articleship, we kind of used to ensure that we are going and sitting in the same poker table, and while we are at it playing poker, simultaneously juggling work and that, which I recommend none of you should do. But then that moment we see our partner also coming on live, and he is able to see that all of us are sitting on a particular table and playing. So he got really furious, and that was also a very funny moment. Are you excited for Web3 and cryptocurrency, sir? So, see, I strongly believe that there is only paucity, or there is only lack of capital. There are unlimited investment opportunities. If anything is going to fall short, it is the capital that you have. The investment opportunities are never going to fall short. So what I personally believe is you should invest in only things that you understand. So if you understand real estate, do only real estate. If you understand equity, do only equity. Do investments in things which you understand. And if there are certain things like crypto which you don't understand, just forget about it. If the bus is getting missed, let it happen, no problem. It is see, it's always not about capital appreciation, it is about capital protection. If you are able to protect your capital, appreciation will all automatically happen. And you can protect your capital only if you're investing in what you understand. So there are a lot of clients who ask me, sir, would would you suggest investing in foreign stocks? My question to them would always be, have you exhausted money? Have you exhausted all the options that are available in India? Do you don't have good options that are available in India? So understanding Indian economy itself is a challenge, and the challenges that are being faced by the Indian economy. Why do you want to kind of for 5% or 10% of your portfolio put money in foreign market and try to understand what the foreign market, or what are the moving parts in the economy of that particular economy? So stick to what it is. Web3. So as I said, not much of a social person, so I'm not really sure how this Meta etc really would work. If you ask me, and if you give me a choice, buying a shirt online versus going to a store, experiencing that moment of happiness, that pleasure of buying, that pleasure of shopping, experiencing the touch, feel, fitting etc and buying, I would always prefer the second. So I would still prefer the physical interaction. See, end of the day, we are all humans, and we are social beings. Because of this web and so much dependency on the internet, the personal interaction is going to go away. So not a real big fan of it, and not really excited about it. Sir, I heard you're interested in playing games. Which one is your favorite game? So I used to play a lot of games back then when I was doing my articleship. My favorite used to be Rise of Nations, Age of Empires. I played a lot of NFS. I did play a lot of Call of Duty, a lot of cricket. Now currently games have become more accessible on phone. So maybe if I'm really stressed, it would be Candy Crush, no brainer. And if I have a lot of time, then maybe I also play PUBG sometimes, Battlegrounds. Yeah. Slang, sir, slang. Do you invest in cryptocurrency? No, sir. How do you hire people? Hiring people, is a challenge. I usually, go by the gut failure. So it is more of a personal interview than a technical interview, if I see confidence and spark in a person, even though he's not technically up to date, I would still prefer hiring that candidate. So it is more about the spark and the willingness to put in that extra effort in getting things done. So that would really help me in hiring people, or that would be the deciding factor. Do you record videos for Indigo Learn every year? Yeah, so I mean, we need to keep updating, our content, and thankfully, costing is a subject where the concept of marginal costing is not going to change. But then there are going to be, new problems that will come in, the RTPs that will come in. So we do have a lot of continuous updation that needs to be done. Sir, what makes you to pick the business for investing? What are the sectors you are bullish? So probably that would require a different forum and altogether different discussion. But if you ask me what are the sectors that I'm bullish on at this moment, I would say banking and real estate. These are the two sectors that are going to banking, real estate, and auto sector. These are the three sectors that are going to be really good for the next 3 4 years. They're going to perform really well. Outstation audit. So nostalgic moment. Uh, I was doing my articleship in Hyderabad. There was a client in Sikkim. So if we had to really, go to this client, we had to, board a train at 6 in the morning on day one. We used to reach Bengal next day in the afternoon or early evening, let's say by 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Then we change the station at Bengal, go to Sialda railway station. From there, catch another train for Siliguri. That is a overnight train. Get down at Siliguri morning like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, and then another 4 hour, 5 hour journey till the client location. So this was more or less a 36-hour journey that we had to really undertake to go to this client. So I had been to this client for about 5 times. It was a half yearly audit, and every half year I used to go. और आर्टिकलशिप में क्या होता है, if you by mistake end up going for the first time, then you become the so called experienced person. So next time you're bound to go with a new person. So I happened to end up going for 5 times. Now there was this last time that I really got frustrated with the travel. So when we were on the way back, we started from Sikkim, that particular place of the client, and while we were trying to reach Siliguri, there was a landslide, and because of that landslide, our entire journey had become extended. So what was supposed to be a 4 5 hour car drive, it ended up being a 10 hour car drive. So we had sufficient buffer time, to catch the train. But then I was really frustrated because I knew that it is now not going to be a 36-hour journey. It is going to be almost a 40 42 hour journey back home, and especially after a 10-day audit visit to this outstation. So what we ended up doing, so me and my colleague, this guy was also a CS son. So both of us were very confident that our principal is not going to really, become too serious with us, or take us to task, because both of our fathers knew our principal very well. So we kind of took a chance and we said, okay, let's intentionally miss the train. And we did actually intentionally miss the train. We had a merry time. We stayed at the guest house, and eventually next day there were no other trains available. We took a flight and came back home. So what was supposed to be a 40 42 hour journey, we finished it in 10 hours. So that is one memory of outstation audit which I will never forget. Your views on GST being levied on milk, chapati, etc., sir? See, that is the sad state of affairs. But then I believe that there will be one day where this government will charge GST also on the donations that you offer in a temple, and that day is not too far away. So This is the reality. We need to deal with it. Sir, say some practical aspects of costing in CS life, because I heard a lot about taxation and audit, but I have a doubt that how costing would be useful in my CS journey. See, let us say you are the CFO of a particular company, and the management comes to you and says, "Look, we want to set up a new chemical manufacturing plant or a processing plant. Would you advise?" Now, how would you come to a conclusion whether to set up this plant or not? All that you will have to do is you'll have to now do the budgeting. You'll have to arrive at the costing. You'll have to calculate what is the cost of setting up this plant, what will be the cost of probably the operations, the cost of manufacturing, what will be the margins, what will be the profitability, gross, net, what will be the break even, etc. Only then you can arrive at the estimated payback period. So imagine that if a businessman is not able to take a decision whether to set up a plant or not, where is the question of taxation and auditing? So costing as such may not be useful in your practice, but I mean it is useful. I am not saying it is not useful, but the moment you go on the other side, so if you go on the business side, if you go on the management side, without costing, you cannot take your day-to-day decisions. The business is going to make money by selling, and it is going to make money only if it is selling in profit. Without sales, without revenue, there is no business. All right, and you will have to make profit. So it is a day in day out job of pricing products, doing the costing and all of that. So the application of costing is more on the industry side, but then when we act as consultants and when we do cost and optimizations, process optimizations, and audits, more to do with efficiency audits. So all the concepts of costing really come really handy. What is your day-to-day routine like? So we discussed that already. Good evening, sir. How to select a good audit firm for doing articleship? See, I would, say if you have a little bit of clarity as to what you want to do in terms of your career, so what you intend to do in future, if you have a practice mindset or you have a employment mindset, you want to go in for a corporate job or you want to go in for a audit related job in some kind of big four. So if you can kind of have that thought process in place, that will really help you in choosing a good audit firm. So for me as a student back then, it was very clear in my head that I never want to do a job, and I was never wanting to go into a corporate. So I, though got offers from Big Fours, I really didn't take it up. I always wanted to go in a small and medium firm where I would get a 360-degree exposure rather than being exposed to one line of service. So that really helped me in eventually setting up my own practice. So, selecting a articleship firm is largely dependent upon your career objective. If you want to go in for a corporate job, then probably going in for articleship with a big four, or if you want to you're clear that you want to go into employment in an audit firm, just directly go to a big four and start doing that. But if you want to set up your own practice and do something on your own, then small and medium firms is something that you should be looking at, because these firms really provide you the 360 degree. How has teaching become a passion of yours? So teaching was something which I always liked, and practical subjects were always my strength. So I really never had to kind of revise practical subjects. It came naturally to me. So anything that has logic in it, I really when I am doing it for the first time, I really go into the depth of it and understand the logic. And once it is done, then kind of it is there in my blood. So how this entire journey of teaching started. So when I set up my firm in 2013, I used to take small sessions on practical parts of audit and day to day accounting standards that were used, etc., for my own articles. So we had a small conference room where I used to take these sessions, training sessions for articles within the firm. And one fine day, this group of four articles came to me and they said, "Sir, we are really finding it difficult to do costing. There was a faculty in Hyderabad who had just passed away. He was the most prominent faculty for costing, and they said, "Sir, we were expecting to do costing with them, with that sir, but due to this unfortunate incident, we are really not having much options. Can you take it up?" So I said, "Why not?" So, it so happened that we started coming to office at 6 o'clock in the morning, myself and articles, four of them, and we started doing costing. We used our conference room and the conference board as the playground, and that really was a good experience. In fact, four of them really enjoyed it, and we got done with it. I thought this was it, but then because of the references that they gave and their friends started approaching, and then I took couple of batches in my office itself, and then it just started. And one thing which I really like about teaching is you get to interact with so many different kind of people and students, and you're you know always interacting with students who are young and with a lot of energy. So that gives a lot of satisfaction. So satisfaction from doing practice versus satisfaction from teaching, I would say teaching is truly a passion. It gives immense satisfaction. So practice can give money, but it may or may not give satisfaction. Teaching, it's more like you're deeply engrossed for those 3 hours, 4 hours of lecture or for the class, and it's totally there. You're in the moment. So a faculty cannot think of outside issues and still deliver. If that concept has to be delivered, if it has to be put through and put into a student's head, the faculty first has to has 100% concentration. So those concentration levels, etc., you're completely, it's like uh, it's like a trance, it's a state of trance. So you're completely there in it, and that is a really good feeling to have. But once you're out of that classroom, once you're in your practice, even when you're working, you'll keep getting calls. There are continuous disturbances. There are a lot of things going in your head. So, it's like kind of managing multiple things. But then with teaching, focus is there. That entire concentration is there. And, there is nothing really that you're going to carry forward after the class. So that is a good feeling. Can CA become an IAS, IPS? Sir, yes, why not? You can, give your civils. I think you can give your civils up to the age of 30. So, yes, you can definitely, become a CA, IAS, IPS. In fact, many CAs do their IRS also at a later point of time and go into revenue services. Hi, sir, I have failed my CA inter group through thrice in a single stretch. Advice. See, Akshay, the advice that I can give you is no student will ever do preparation or will ever start studying with a mindset of failing, or no student's objective is to fail. So every student definitely has only one objective, that is to give in the best effort and to pass. Now if something has not worked out, so when I gave my final attempt three times, the fourth time when I said I really want to get done with it, the first thing that I did was I kept my books aside. I said, I don't want to look at the old books. I don't want to follow the approach that I was following for the last three attempts. Had the approach been correct for the last three attempts, I would have already passed. So there is something definitely which is not right. The subject is not going to change. The examination is not going to change. The only thing that I can change is the approach. So I started, discussing with my faculties. In fact, Satyaragu sir kind of helped me, dealing with these changes. And I changed my, pattern a little bit. I said, okay, let me give it a thoroughly fresh attempt. I attended fresh set of classes with a fresh set of mind, fresh set of books, and with a clean slate. I, kind of approached it, and it really helped. And then I was back on track, and I was able to clear my exam. So I would say start afresh. What happens usually is you kind of have that baggage or burden of your past and past experiences. By looking at the book or the page, you're highlighting, you're underlining, all the memories come back to you. That last time also you had studied, but you failed. So kind of, using new books, etc., changing the environment, changing the place where you're sitting and studying. Just the surroundings, if you change, it is going to help you a lot. And probably once the thoughts change, everything else will fall in place. Sir, your opinion on Mr. Adani climbing to the position of third richest person? See, I have been a investor for last 8 9 years, but somehow I should admit that I missed investing in the shares of Adani. So more than he becoming the third richest person, I would be more than happy if I could multiply whatever limited wealth I had by investing in shares of Adani. But having said that, no one actually noticed when he outgrew, and it is a very scary position to be in, because today the debt on the Adani Group enterprises is huge. And sometimes it is said that you are too big to fail. I'm worrying that whether Adani has come to that level. The kind of debt it has, if it ever fails to repay, the entire Indian economy is going to go into a turmoil. So every other day you hear, you read a news article that they are buying this company, they are buying this, business, they are investing into this sector, this many thousand crore or $1 million USD, etc., etc., all the big deals. But how is all this being financed? It is financed by debt, from public banks, which is at the end of the day public money. So one has to be really careful. And probably at this point, at least at this point, I would definitely not invest in Adani Group companies. It is heavily loaded with debt. So let's see, let's wait and watch. But having said that, it is not an easy task to climb to such a position, and hats off to that person. Sir, I left CA after clearing IPCC Group 1 after 8 attempts. Because of job, I don't get time to study. What's your suggestion? See, my suggestion would be you decide what is more important to you. If clearing CA is really important, give yourself that 1 month or 2 months time. If your financial ability permits, just just take a chance. Just back yourself. Give yourself complete 2 months to focus and study, and you will be back on track. And really juggling between work and CS studies, some people have done it, but whether it is easy, I'm not very sure. It is not impossible. You just have to kind of back yourself. And I would say, if your financial position permits, take a break from job, give yourself clear 2 months time, and I think you should be able to do it. And obviously, once you're in job, you'll not get time to study. Sir, how was your encounter with Indigo Learn? Who approached you, sir? So, in fact, Satyaragu was my, mentor and faculty during the CA days. And as a student, I always had a good conversation with him and a good bond with him. And we also did a few consulting assignments between that 2011 and 2013 period together, and we were always in touch. Then Suraj, in fact, was an article in my dad's firm, so that way I knew Suraj also, very well. He did some portion of his articleship with my dad's firm, and Yeah, so I basically knew the founders personally, except for Sriram. Sriram, I happened to interact later on through Raghu and Suraj. So overall, it was a good experience, and probably it was very natural for both of us to kind of approach each other. I had I had been teaching costing, and I was a part of the initial conceptualization, the initial trial runs which Indigo did, and it was very natural for me to align and kind of record videos for Indigo. Filing an RTI and getting paper, is there any issue for students later? Absolutely not, yeah. No issues. CMA job opportunities. See, opportunities are there in every field. You just have to find the right niche. Which faculty's personality did you like the most from one film? So honestly, I haven't seen their lectures, and in fact, I have not seen my own lectures. Also, I have only recorded them, and I have never really gone through those lectures. So probably you guys can tell me how those lectures are. So in terms of personality, see, I have spent a lot of time with Raghu attending his classes, and we shared a lot of thoughts together. So I really like the vision that Raghu has, and with Suraj, I know that he's a guy for detail. I still remember when I asked him. He was obviously senior back then, maybe a couple of years or 3 years elder to me, and having more experience as a CA student. So I asked him, Suraj, which book would you recommend for audit? And he said Tata McGraw Hill. I just went on the internet and searched. It was a 2,500 number of pages, fat book. I said, Suraj, are you mad? Are you really going to study that? Suraj's answer was like, see, I don't know. You asked me which is a good book. I use that book for my final. If you want to use it, you use it. Otherwise, it's up to you. So Suraj is very clear with what he wants and what kind of books he wants to refer, and has a in-depth conceptual understanding. So yeah, these are the two people which I actually interacted with most, and I definitely love them. Sir, how to secure sentiment costing? Please say. See, with costing, time management is the key. So, to be very honest, if I was given that question paper to solve in 30 minutes, it would be real pressure situation. So, a student who is able to manage time well would definitely, score centum 100%. Now, if someone is aiming for that, I would say this person will have to really practice, and practice a lot of questions. So, with practical subjects, you will get speed only by solving and by staying in touch with the subject. So, you practice and you will definitely, reach that mark. So, any strategies for CA November 22 revision strategy? So for November 22 CA enter, if you're kind of reading both groups, I would say earmark your time. Earmark, have a strategy in place. See, broadly do a calculation. If there are 8 subjects and 80 days of preparation time available, that means you have 10 days per subject. Out of that 10 days, how much you want to kind of do it for the first reading, how much you want to do it for the revision. So have a broad ballpark revision strategy in place, or a timeline schedule in place, and stick to it. See, where students usually go wrong is they spend too much time on one subject and not leaving enough time for the other subjects. Or you end up spending so much time on one particular subject that you start fearing that there is no time left for preparing the others. So instead of completing 100%, if you're able to complete 80%, 80%, 80% also, it will still be a better attempt than doing 100% of one subject and not doing the others. So I would say, strategize your time and use it efficiently. That is really going to help you. So Harish, daily routine, we kind of already discussed it in the beginning. It's usually 7:30, 7:30. I get up, spend a lot of time with my 1 year old daughter. Uh, have my breakfast, come to office by 10, 10 to unlimited time, maybe 8, 9, 9:30. I'm at office, and then go back home, read some books, watch some good videos, and do some YouTubing. I like watching YouTube, some uh, you know investigation videos or some historical videos, etc. And then I just rest, go to sleep. So friends, I think we have spent quite a good amount of time, and it was pleasure interacting with you, and getting this opportunity to kind of put across the thoughts, and have a very open and frank interaction with all of you. So I can say this was a conversation with no strings attached. Whatever random questions were coming, were being answered, and these are the personal life experiences which probably cannot be put across in recorded sessions, etc. So it was more like coffee with Karan without Karan and coffee, of course. But had a good time interacting with all of you and answering all your questions. So with this, I think unless you guys have any further questions, we can end the session and enjoy the rest of the day that is left. All right, so friends, thank you so much for your wishes, and stay committed to your preparation and stay on course with your preparation. And in case you're having any specific doubts, you can always reach out to the Indigo team, and we will do whatever best we can. Thank you guys. Have fun. Good night, and I hope we catch up soon again. And killer Manoj, don't forget I'm coming to Tamil Nadu, and I will definitely catch you. सर माइंड में सेल्फ डाउट आए तो क्या करना, क्या करे क्या करे क्या करे. See, I always tell my students that CA preparation, and especially CA attempt, CA curriculum is such where the battle is won before you enter into the examination hall. All right, the 3 hours of examination are important, but what is more important than that is the frame of mind that you're in. If you believe that you can clear, you will clear. You're correct. If you believe that you can become a CA, you're 100% correct. And if you believe that you cannot do it, sadly, that is also correct. So if someone is having self doubt, I think what you need to do is you need to take a pause, take a day out. All right, go back and go down the memory lane. Try to reflect upon your past. See, I am sure every person who has dreamt of becoming a CA must have been a average or above average student in his schooling life and curriculum and all of that. All right, if you were good all through your schooling, and if you were able to reach till this stage, see, if you were not good enough, all right, you would have not cleared your entrance only. The filtering system of CA is such good that you would have not entered only. Just because you are capable, you have come till this stage. And The institute is having faith in you that you can take it forward. So you just reflect upon the good times and the good performances of your past and remind yourself that look, you were able to do it in the past. This is only a temporary phase that you're not feeling confident. Just let it pass. You kind of assert and reaffirm and remind yourself every day that you can do it, and you are capable of doing it. You have reached this stage only because you're capable. If you were not capable enough, you would have not come till here. All right. And see, most of the times the confidence, is shaken, or you feel lack of it because you're worried of the outcome. A student who is worried about the outcome, whether he will pass or he will fail, is creating unnecessary pressure on himself or herself. So the first thing that you have to do is remove the thought about the outcome. Whether pass or fail does not really matter. All right. What is going to matter is whether you have prepared enough. So stop thinking about your outcome. See, CA does not require to you, you to CA does not require you to be 100% correct. The passing mark is only 50%. So even if you're half right, you're okay. All right. And I'm sure that we are more than half right. So don't really worry about the outcome. Just give it a genuine attempt. Remove the fear of failure. Don't think about it, and automatically you will start feeling confident about whatever you're doing. And meditating might be good, but it is not a part of my routine. I really don't practice it, but it is a good thing to do. I haven't experienced it much, so I cannot really say. That's Swati. Understanding concepts is really good, but then the real test of the pudding is in eating. So whether you are able to apply the concepts or not, whether you have truly understood the concepts or not, the true test of that is actually solving the questions. And how to practice sums of all chapters in 2 months. 2 months is a really long time. If you can identify, see, every chapter will have maybe 20, 30, 40, 50 questions or whatever. There will be three or four such questions which are comprehensive in nature, which is probably going to cover all type of complications in that particular chapter. So your job, your objective as a student should be you identify which are those two three questions which are comprehensive in nature. Probably you solve that one question and you're addressing five six concepts at once. So if you're able to identify such kind of comprehensive questions and practice them, then you're going to be in a better position to really attempt. And sorry to say, but I strongly believe that subjects like accounting, financial management, costing cannot be read. They have to be solved. They cannot be, just understood at a conceptual level. You need some portion of practical solving till you get a confidence that yes, you have really, understood the concept. Ankita Singh, sir, C is really hard. See, everything in life is difficult. Nothing comes easy. And whether it is easy, tough, hard, it is all in our head. If you start saying to yourself that CA is easy, then it is going to be a easy journey. If you keep reminding yourself daily, it is a pure conditioning of your mind. Tell yourself and fill yourself with positive thoughts that okay, this is a easy curriculum. This is something that I really like. This is something that I really want to do. Fill yourself with such good thoughts, and the life will really be easy. CA is not at all tough. If you feel CA is tough, the life after becoming a CA is going to be even more challenging. It's like सर जब हम लोग नाइन्थ क्लास में थे, when we were in the ninth class, We felt that once 10th is over, once the board exams are over, we will be done for life, our life will be settled. Only to realize that you have 11th and 12th. Once 12th is over, before 12th, you're like, ek bar 12th ho jaye, and then you're done for life. And then after 12th, you will feel like, Arey yaar, pura career baki hai, you don't know what to do. So CA is also just a step. Just don't read too much into it. Don't treat it as a burden. Just enjoy the moment of being here. Just enjoy being able to read and write. Just enjoy having the privilege of being able to study a curriculum like this. There are so many people who don't even get the opportunity to study. So look at the positives and life will become easier. Sir, how to prepare notes for costing and management accounting? So, in one of the previous catch-up sessions, I had given my thoughts on this. What I would say is, when you're preparing for costing, just maintain a book with two portions. Portion one should be your concepts. So, whenever a new concept is being introduced to you, what you have to do is you have to give it a serial number. Let's say serial number one, concept number two, concept number three, or whatever it is, and write something about that your concept in your own words. See, I will have an example. Maybe I will give a Cadbury chocolate example to make you guys understand. You, in that particular moment, when the subject is still at the nascent stage. See, any subject, what will happen is concept one, concept two, concept three, concept four, and then all of the concepts get merged and it becomes a big subject. So what I'm saying is, when the first concept is introduced as a small tidbit, try to break that concept. Try to give your own example. Try to give your own number. Do your own number work. Maybe your own example. Replace chocolate with ice cream, maybe, and note down as a concept in your own language. Once you do that, it will be with you for a lifetime. So have a section of notes whenever new concepts are coming. And in the second section, what I always recommend students is, if you're able to solve the problem in the first go, you will always be able to solve it. But if you're getting stuck in the first attempt, there is a chance that you'll get stuck even in the second attempt. So those questions where you find tricky adjustments, or you find some concept which is difficult to understand, just note down that question number, note down that page number, note down where you had gone through it. How this will help is in your second revision, when you're kind of revising the subject. Focus only on the difficult questions and the concepts. Practice only that, and your paper will become much easier, and your revision will be more effective. So that ways I would recommend preparing notes for costing. Concepts serially numbered. It should be in such a manner that you can revise it for the entire subject. IPCC, if you prepare, it is not going to be more than 25 or 30 pages for sure. There are not many concepts also. So you note it down in one place, and then your difficult questions. Sir, in public exams, can we write theory questions related to costing? What do you mean by public exams, Swati? Can we write theory questions? Main exam. Yeah, of course. See, one thing that we need to understand: these are not your CA exams are not like your BCom exams or your inter exams. So the length of your answer does not really matter. All right. What matters is whether you're able to put across the point, whether you're able to drive home the concept. If you're able to drive home the concept, it can be in any language. It can be plain, simple English of your own. It does not matter. If you're able to drive home the concept, that is enough. And it's more important to be precise and to the point. So if it's a 4 mark theory question, four relevant points, four single relevant lines, then that's enough. You're going to get the required marks. All right. So let me make a second attempt at kind of closing today's session. So it was a pleasure interacting with all of you. Any further questions that we are having, we can take it up in other forums, and we will continuously have multiple opportunities. In fact, we have weekly catch up sessions also, which we are doing, so we can probably catch up there also. I'm sure before your exams also we will get to interact once. We will kind of make sure that we do that. So any questions you have, you can do there, or forums are always available. So pleasure interacting with all of you. Good night, guys. Have a nice time and study well. All the best.